Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to the Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Today, our guest is David. David, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Awesome. So, David, let us know where you live and what you do.
Yep, I'm in Austin, Texas, and I am founder and CEO of a tech company out here. I'm a SaaS company, B2B2C, and really enjoy doing what I do.
Awesome. So, why you started this company? What was the inspiration behind this?
Yeah, we started this company 3 or 4 years ago. It's called Pilot. Think of Pilot as a tool for entertainment venues, events, nightlife, fashion shows, pop-up events at the Kentucky Derby, things of that nature. We combine a lot of, different types of ticketing, booking, RSVP, guest list, invites, so on and so forth, a CRM of users, so that these different venues or operators can use one tool versus using multiple tools, plus pen and paper and Excel spreadsheets, right? So trying to have one kind of central source of truth for them. On the front end, it creates a marketplace of kind of high-end experiences for users. So think of an open table, but for high-level, high-touch experiences. And we did this one to help kind of streamline the operations for the venue and event owners so that they can spend more time on things that matter rather than trying to kind of manually do some of these mundane tasks. And then for users, we wanted to have kind of one central source of truth where they can go and figure out where they want to spend their time and their money. And it was actually my co-founder's idea, that Travis Johnson. He was playing with the Buccaneers, just won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady, and came out to Austin to visit for the first time. And that's when he had shared the idea with me. So launched back in February of 2024. And yeah, now we're kind of scaling and looking to grow this thing in 2025.
Awesome. So, what was the biggest gap that you were able to see in the market where you are going to start your business? So, at that time, you were able to see any gap or not?
Yeah, it's funny. We started it as a line skipping platform, and then it transitioned into more of kind of what I had just explained. But I think the biggest gap was unless you were someone that had social capital, even if you had money, it was hard to figure out some of these high-end events or who to contact, right? If you didn't know the guy that knew the guy, it was tough for these people to figure that out. And I think that's the patron experience. I think from the operator experience, it's very chaotic. These are high turnover industries. Trying to train new people all the time on multiple different platforms is tough. Right. And so we wanted to streamline the operations for them. And there hadn't really been a platform yet that had put a really strong back end together with a really strong front end. You kind of either saw a front end or a back end. So that was the gap that we saw that we wanted to fix.
All right. So you started this business to, let's say, fulfill your maybe to fill a gap in the market or maybe to fulfill any dream. So do you think whenever someone who is starting a business, there should be a cause whenever they are starting a business, or they should just see the trends in the market and whatever looks good, they should jump into it?
I think you have to see a problem, whether it's now or a potential problem that you'd see in the future based off of new technology or whatever it may be. But yeah, you have to have a problem. And I think the business is the solution for that problem, right?
All right. So recognizing a customer is one of the biggest element in doing any business. So what is your process to recognize your customer? How you define your customer, maybe your ideal customer?
Yeah, I think our customer is, like I had said earlier, whether it's a nightlife venue, whether it's, we worked with Sports Illustrated and ABG at the Kentucky Derby, or New York Fashion Week. We're working with some of the top designers over there here next week. I think it's anybody that is having a high-end event or a high-end operation that requires any type of ticketing, table booking, invites, so on and so forth, that really wants to have a high touch, right? Our platform is very aesthetic, right? It really has that kind of a luxurious feel to it. So being able to, again, kind of streamline those operations, right? If you're having something where you're selling tickets and selling tables and sending out invites and have a VIP guest list, like when we worked with Sports Illustrated, they were selling $1,000 tickets and also tables that, bottle service up to like $75,000, right? And then on the other hand of that, they also had a guest list of, high-end guests, right? I think they brought in Travis Kelce, Aaron Rodgers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Alex Earl, all these people. So you had multiple kind of different levels of entry and multiple different things you needed to do, but they used the one platform for everything. They didn't, in the past, maybe you're using Eventbrite for the ticketing, and then you're using, 7 rooms for the table, and then you're using an Excel spreadsheet to handle all the guest lists, right? We were able to kind of put that all into one. So again, I think anybody that's using any individual one of those, right, whether it's ticketing, table booking, invites, RSVP, guest list, whatever it may be, or people that like Sports Illustrated are using all of those, right? And I think the cool thing about our platform is you have some people, you have a lot of these different high-end events that, depending on what event it is, maybe they're using a different functionality, right, from the platform. But knowing that regardless of what kind of event they're doing, they can use us and they don't have to switch and they can have all their data in one place. That's kind of our ideal customer.
Is this thing that is a differentiator with your competitors in the market? Do you have any other differentiators as well that differentiates you from your competitors?
Yeah, I think our differentiation is the combining of all of those existing services. I think another one of our differentiating factors is the fact that we're able to get into a lot of these different markets, right? Like you have the nightlife, you have the high-end pop-up events, you have New York Fashion Week. One of the things we're exploring now is the yacht charter game, right? So like all of these different, nobody has taken all of those before and put it onto one platform, right? From the patron perspective, right? If you're a patron and you're in New York City for the first time, and you want to go out and explore what the entertainment scene looks like, you can use OpenTable or Resi for dinner. But when it comes to going out after that, there is no platform, right? So what we want to do is being able to, our differentiating factor is being able to put all of those onto one, right?
Awesome. So you are already a tech business, in fact. And in terms of marketing, do you think that digital marketing is enough for your business, or offline marketing is also an important part?
To be honest, I think marketing is important across the board. We haven't done a ton of marketing yet. Our marketing has kind of been built into the already existing marketing channels, right? With these venues, when they onboard us, we have widgets that we can put into their websites or their Instagrams. So where people are already going to find out what's going on or how to book things, instead of someone having to email into, the hottest nightclub in New York and say, hey, I want to book a table, they can click, hey, book a table, and it shows them what's available, what the pricing looks like, what the, table capacity is. So kind of automating that piece so that when the venues onboard us and take us on and they integrate us into their marketing channels, that means that the patrons have to go through us, right? So it's a little bit of that natural marketing. I think as we get bigger, as we continue to scale, I think our marketing will become more robust and we'll do things outside of that. But I think up until this point, we've strategically wanted to partner with people that have visibility so that we're kind of baked into what they're already doing.
Awesome. So your system is basically, your business is dependent a lot on the technology. So in terms of technology, like, was there any thinking to decide the technology for your business? Because I have seen, because we are also doing a software development business, and we have seen that many clients just ramble. They really don't know what technology they should adapt for their product. So how you decided the technology stack for your product?
We actually switched. We started with one, we developed it, we realized that it wasn't optimal for that. And so last year, even though we were in the market, it was more of kind of I would say a beta phase for a year, right? To figure out what worked, what didn't work, being on site with the customers, seeing where the friction point was. And then we rebuilt the platform entirely. And going to market again with this year with something that can scale, that is robust, that will work, that will not crash, things of that nature, right? So I think for us, it was a little bit of trial and error and getting people involved that were technologically savvy and was like, hey, you should, use this stack versus this stack or this framework or this database versus this one for what you're trying to do, right? One of our investors and advisors is the chief information officer at Lenovo. So we lean on him a lot for some of the different technological questions, because what's unique about us is none of our founders are developers. Typically, at least one of the founders is technical, right? And so for us, getting somebody like him that was technical as an advisor was important for us in the success of what we were doing.
All right. What do you think if there are non-technical founders? So what they should do? They should hire some CTO, or they should get some consultancy, like how they should start?
I think if you're a non-technical founder, like one of the things that we had done in the early days was we built it in a dev shop, which, I mean, unless if you have a good dev shop, I think that would work. But because none of us were technical, having someone to run the technical team or to like audit or check or know what they were doing, we didn't have that, right? And so I think it is important to at least have one person in-house that's technical and savvy enough to be kind of the leader, even if you are, using a fractional service otherwise, right? And maybe, using contractors from a dev shop, that's fine. But I think you need somebody technical on the team if there isn't a technical presence within the founding group.
Awesome. So, David, what is your client acquisition process? How you acquire a client?
Yeah, we have a couple different ways, obviously. I think one of the things that's made us different is the relationships we have within the entertainment industry. Like the Sports Illustrated deal we did was off a relationship. A lot of the venues that we onboarded in the early days last year through the beta process was relationships. Obviously, you have the process of cold calling and knocking and going up to these venues just on foot and in person, which is actually pretty positive and had been beneficial for us. Getting to be in person with these people, being able to answer their questions in person, and then being able to kind of demo for them in person versus like everyone gets emails and calls. And I think this industry is so chaotic that that's not a super effective way. So being in person, I think another way was kind of some of our strategic partnerships. So getting people that have access to these different ownership groups or different venues or New York Fashion Week or things of that nature, being able to have someone that can walk you in the door as a warm lead and help you kind of get that process started. That's been our acquisition
Awesome.
operation.
Awesome. So when we are talking about the strategic partnerships, so like, do you think this is an important thing for any business, or strategic partnerships? Like, we should do strategic partnerships, or we should avoid the strategic partnerships, because everybody is in their own zone. Everybody have their own limitations and concerns. So there's a possibility that these partnerships may increase these concerns. So do you think this is a positive change for any business, or not?
I think strategic partnerships are important, but I think you can't just use them as a crutch, right? I think as founders, as a sales team, you still have to get out there and do your own work and do your own selling. But I think anytime you can get somebody that can walk you in a room and what would be, a cold or impossible lead becomes something that's super warm due to the relationship, right? I think life's about relationships, life's about people. So anytime you can utilize that and leverage, the two of those things, it's a positive for sure.
Awesome. So let us know, what are your expansion plans in next 3 to 6 months?
Yep, 3 to 6 months. We will be expanding throughout several cities, major cities within the United States. I'm working on some stuff in New York Fashion Week as well as in London Fashion Week. We actually have some stuff planned around the Met Gala, South by Southwest. The plan is to have triple-digit venues by the end of the year, as well as triple-digit events. We're having some conversations in Mexico City. So a lot of growth planned for this year, a lot of early traction already in Q1. So it's been positive and looking forward to the next 10, 11 months.
Awesome. So what about the long-term goals, like maybe after a couple of years or even after more than that? Do you have any plans to flip it? Do you have any plan to sell it, or you will keep growing it?
I think that's always a hard question because obviously, everyone, you have an idea and you want to get to the point where you IPO or have a strategic acquisition, but after kind of all the blood, sweat, and tears and the hard work you put in, it becomes your baby. But I think for us, ideally, it's probably something that is a strategic acquisition from a bigger conglomerate, right?
Makes sense. Completely makes sense. Awesome. So, David, at the end, what would be your biggest piece of advice for our viewers who are going to start their business, or maybe they are dreaming to be their own boss, or maybe they are still struggling with different type of challenges in the business?
I would say take the leap. It's stressful for sure. It's a lot of hard work, but it's fulfilling. And I think the biggest piece is just don't give up. Like, I think you're going to have times that feel like you're not moving and there's a little movement, a little progress over a long period of time. And then I think you have a lot of progress over a short period of time. And I think Steve Jobs says it, like the biggest difference between entrepreneurs that make it and the ones that don't is perseverance, right? My co-founder always says that success and failure are on the same road. Failure is just an earlier exit. So don't give up.
Awesome. So, David, do you believe that a business owner may be an entrepreneur, but there's the possibility that a business owner may not be an entrepreneur as well? Like, an entrepreneur must be a business owner, but there's the possibility that business owner may not be an entrepreneur.
I think they're one and the same. Like, I think in order to, unless you're a business, I think they're one and the same. Yeah. I mean, if you're being a business owner, you're stepping out onto your own and you're being entrepreneurial and risking things, right? So I think anytime there's risk with a business and anytime you're stepping out and being your own boss, I think it's definitely entrepreneurial.
Because many people just think about it that if you want to be an entrepreneur, you must have to introduce something new, something completely new. So many people say, like, business owner, there's a possibility that a business owner may not be an entrepreneur as well. So
I think a business owner can be an entrepreneur. I could think even if you're a business owner that's buying businesses that already exist, you're an entrepreneur, right? You're finding a way to leverage
yeah,
your knowledge and make money from it, on your own without reporting to somebody else. So, but I think
exactly.
even if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, at the end of the day, you're still reporting to somebody, right? A board, investors, advisors, shareholders, whatever it is. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
I think
exactly. Awesome. So, David, thank you so much for joining us. And will you please let our viewers know how they can reach you if someone wants to reach you? Like, you can share your website, your email, or social media handles, whatever you want to.
Yeah. Our Instagram is Pilot Experiences, just like it sounds. Email david@pilot.life and our website connect.pilot.life. So yeah, that's how you can reach me or kind of see what we have going on.
Awesome. That's easy.
Very easy.
All right.
Very easy.
Thank you, David. It was a really good session. I enjoyed the conversation, and hopefully we will stay in touch. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.